is that it's like it's one thing for us to go and do something and to be controlled, right, by this Jezebel spirit, controlled and emboldened. It's another thing when you put a godly practice in there and think that is okay. But then guess what? Absalom did the same thing. When he was planning and plotting to get rid of his father, David, to take over his kingship, he was in that takeover spirit, that Jezebel spirit, right? And when he was planning and plotting to do this, he told David that if he ever got a chance to get back to Jerusalem, he was going to go and make sacrifices to the Lord. And he mentioned to David that's what he was going to do. And David's, oh yeah, go ahead and do it, right? In order for the Jezebel / takeover spirit to be in effect, you got to have a King Ahab. And the King Ahab could be a vulnerable narcissist, or the King Ahab could just be a person that's just passive, that sits back and passively allows things to happen, right? King Ahab was a vulnerable narcissist. They're whining, they're entitled, they're resentful, they don't want to work for anything, and they think because of the status quo, right? And I'm referring to the vulnerable narcissist. Because of the status quo, this is what I am owed, right? And so King Ahab thought he should have had that vineyard, right? And was not even entitled to it, but he felt that he was entitled to it, right? But he was that passive type. So that's how Jezebel was able to do what? Come and emasculate him and run over him. Women with that Jezebel spirit, right? And being grandiose narcissists, right? And also some of them would be like malignant narcissists, like with Jezebel that was mixed in there. You have that grandiosity and malignant narcissism in her. But that grandiose narcissist will go with that Jezebel spirit and take over a person that has that passive Ahab spirit. And like I said, King Ahab was a vulnerable narcissist. But then you've got that type of situation. So in order from Jezebel to occur, if you say, yeah, so-and-so got the Jezebel spirit, then you need to know where's the King Ahab that they are using? Whose power and influence are they using to do what it is they want to do? Jezebel used King Ahab's power, right? And then you got David, who was a passive father. He was not a narcissist, right? But he was trauma bonded and soul tied to Saul, who was his narcissistic spiritual father. And David produced 3 narcissistic sons, right? You got Amnon, who ended up assaulting his half-sister Tamar. Then you've got Absalom, who was also a narcissist. And Amnon, who assaulted his half-sister Tamar, he had Tamar used as transitional supply. He just wanted to get over his, unfortunately, to just relieve him